Right, welcome to another lesson with React, and this time let's experiment React State. All right, so I have a fresh application here, and let's see different ways we can create React state. All right, so assuming we have a class, I'm gonna name it course, and extends from react.component. And in this class, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create states, and this is a way we can create state, right, outside of a constructor. So for this class, I'm not using any constructor. I'm directly creating a state and inside state. So you can actually just use one keyword state and you can have as many states as you want actually. So I'm gonna create two. Let's say I'm gonna have the first one called course name. For now I'm calling, and the value for now is CS628 MERN. All right, and then another state called count, and I'm gonna put a random value 1 to 4. Okay, and so now we have a state, and let's actually see if our application is working before we change or update any value of the state. So for now, let's do a render method where I'm gonna return several JSX. So let's say first I'm gonna have a h1 tag. I'm gonna say welcome to, and then I'm gonna call the state. I'm gonna call this dot state dot course name, and then I'm gonna have another h1 tag where I'm gonna say number of students, and then I call the state again. So this dot state dot count. Okay, and save it, and let's render our course app. Okay, our course class. Okay, so this is what it shows, right? This is our state and another state. Now, we have states because we want to update the values, right, for our application. So let's see if we want to update some stuff. How can we do? So let's say I want to first update this count. Let's say every time I create a button, and then every time the user click on the button, the value of count changes. So let's see how we can do it. Let's say I'm gonna create this count student function, and I'm going to have this callback function where inside I'm going to call this dot setState method, and this setState I'm going to use this current state, and what I'll do with the current state is I'm going to use whatever the current value of count, and I will plus it with 1. So essentially what this function does is taking in this current state, and this current state essentially it's controlling whatever the value of the current value of count, and then it will set the next value based on that. So and then the way I'm doing this count student function is basically I'm passing in a function into this state. So instead of me changing the value directly, I'm passing in a function to change the value. Basically, that's what's happening here. Okay, so this is the function we have, and then let's create a button. And okay, so let's do a button, and in this button I'm gonna say the type is button, and let's say on click. All right, every time the user click, let's say this, and then I'm calling this count student function, and every time they click, and it should do whatever we clarify in this count student. And then let me give a name to this count, this button. So I'm gonna say click to count. Okay, save it, and you see it changes here. Let's click and oh, sorry, it's supposed to be current state.count. Sorry. Okay, so let's do it again. Click, 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 click. Okay, so every time we click, and you can see that it used the previous number plus 1. So that's how we update states. And let's look at another way that I can update states. So let's create another function called change name. And for this change name, I'm gonna work with the course name state. So for this change name, what I'll do is I will do this dot setState also. However, I will directly change the course name. I will directly assign a value to the course name. Let's call it just another course. Okay. And then hit save. And then we're going to create another button here. And in this button, let's change, instead of calling count student, let's call change name function. And then let's say click to change name. Save. Okay, let's click to change name. And then the value is updated. Click to count. Value is updated. All right, so there's 2 ways you can update your states. Both of them need set states, so that's the thing you need to pay attention. And yeah, so that's how you create states and update state.